Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. That's great. There's just chatter all throughout. Hi, I'm Rick Van Koon. I'm the Executive Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, and welcome to the event today and the induction. I'm really excited to have everybody here. But before we begin the ceremony, we invite you to take a few moments to break bread, meaning start eating. And whether you're a student honoree or a faculty mentor or a guest, there's so much brilliance in this room, so take advantage. You've already started the conversations. However, you'll find a few icebreakers on your table. Please take advantage of that. You know, you can find a person that might want to read out the icebreakers, but please take advantage of that because it'll provide insights to your table mates, or even insights, laughter, everything you want to see. So this is a time, a celebration of intellectual community, so let's celebrate that with these discussions. So we have a great event ahead of us. So relax, take this time to settle in, start eating, please, and eat throughout the event because it's a fairly long event, so please take advantage of this time to eat. Enjoy the food, enjoy each other's company, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes to kick things off. So thank you. See you then.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honored guests. Sorry to interrupt. On this very special occasion, it is fitting to first acknowledge that the land on which Indiana University sits was once inhabited and cared for by the Miami, Potawatomi, Delaware, and Shawnee peoples. We recognize their displacement and remember the lasting legacies of their communities. My name is Jason McGraw. I am a professor in the Department of History here at Indiana University, Bloomington. I am also president of the Gamma of Indiana chapter of Phi Beta Kappa. Today, on behalf of the faculty members of the Gamma chapter, we welcome our newly elected members. They will be formally inducted this afternoon. As we celebrate today's inductees, please feel free to indulge in the treats on your tables, which I hope you are doing now. They're all calorie-free. Phi Beta Kappa is the oldest and most distinguished academic honor society in America. Today's ceremony marks a memorable occasion for our new members and for their family and friends who are joining us via YouTube. To set the scene, we've asked Professor of English Nikki Skillman to begin this event by telling us about Phi Beta Kappa, its history, and the symbolic significance of the Phi Beta Kappa key.
Thank you, Professor McGraw, and hello, everyone. I'm here to tell you about the history of Phi Beta Kappa, the oldest academic honor society in America. The first chapter was founded in 1776 at the College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia. The students who founded it met at a local tavern, the Raleigh Tavern, to create a serious-minded student society that would offer more than social opportunities. Over the next half-century, Phi Beta Kappa chapters were established at other colleges and universities, including Yale and Harvard. While the original organization had been a secret society, most new chapters followed Harvard's example and repealed the injunction of secrecy. In 1883, the various chapters joined to form a national association known as the United Chapters of Phi Beta Kappa. Over the years, Phi Beta Kappa has been home to a broad range of notable individuals who have distinguished themselves in many fields. You'll see just a few of them pictured here. There, here. There'll be a picture. PBK, there you go. PBK inductees include George Washington Henderson, a former slave who was the first African-American inducted into Phi Beta Kappa in 1877, author Mark Twain, author and activist Helen Keller, and writer Paul Robeson, sociologist and founder of the NAACP, W.E.B. Du Bois, physician and virologist Jonas Salk, environmentalist Rachel Carson, chemist Roger Chen, novelist Viet Thanh Nguyen, American diplomat and political scientist Condoleezza Rice, former United States Representative Elijah Cummings, and 6 of the 9 current Supreme Court justices, including Justice Sonia Sotomayor and Chief Justice John Roberts, and many more, including more recently, poet Amanda Gorman. As for the Indiana University chapter, it was formally established in 1911. On January 20th. That was the perfect day to do so, since it's the university's birthday, known as Founders Day. Our chapter is known as Gamma of Indiana, after the 3rd letter of the Greek alphabet, because it was the 3rd chapter established in the state after chapters at DePauw, Alpha, and Wabash, Beta. You might have noticed that as a Phi Beta Kappa member, you are entitled to obtain a key. So I will explain the significance of the various inscriptions on that key, whose design is drawn from the metal of the original chapter at William and Mary College. The core principles of a liberal education are symbolized in the Greek letters Phi, Beta, and Kappa. Those are the initials of the motto Philosophia Biu Kubernetes, which can be translated as the love of wisdom is the guide of life. In the upper left corner of the key, 3 stars symbolize the main aims of the society: friendship, morality, and literature. A pointing hand in the lower corner symbolizes aspiration to those aims. On the reverse side, you'll see the letters SP, which represent the Latin phrase Societas Philosophiae, meaning philosophical society. You'll also find the date of Phi Beta Kappa's founding, along with the member's name, the electing institution, and the year of induction. One of the best summaries of the principles of Phi Beta Kappa comes from John Hope Franklin, a distinguished historian who was awarded in 1995 the Presidential Medal of Freedom, not only for his lifelong work as a student of history, but for his determination to bring about a better understanding of race relations in modern times. He said the following: "The love of learning is one of the most powerful values we can teach the generations to come. It has been a backbone of American pride and achievement and essential to freedom of thought and individual liberty. It is the envy of other societies that seek the kind of freedom of inquiry we have. Lose that, and we lose something very principled and very American." Well said, indeed. Now that you know something about the history of this distinguished scholarly society, I'd like to recall Professor McGraw to the podium.
Thank you, Nikki, for that introduction to the rich history of Phi Beta Kappa. This induction ceremony is hosted by the College of Arts and Sciences, and now I will call our host, College Executive Dean Rick Van Kooten, to the podium. On behalf of the Gamma of Indiana chapter, I want to take this opportunity to thank Dean Van Kooten for his generosity in continuing the college's tradition of financial and administrative support for the chapter as we honor academic excellence through election to Phi Beta Kappa.
Thank you, Jason, for that introduction. Oh, sorry. So thank you very much, and welcome everyone. I hope you enjoyed those icebreakers earlier. And as Executive Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, it's my pleasure to welcome our newest Phi Beta Kappa electees. Guests in this room, families and friends who have joined us, and those who have joined us online for the celebration. We're fortunate to have many of our deans with us today. I asked them to stand as I introduce them, and just please hold your applause until they're all standing. So we're joined by Peg Feynman, Dean of the Eskenazi School of Art, Architecture, and Design. John Hansen, Executive Associate Dean of the college. Elizabeth Collin Dunn, Associate Dean for Graduate Studies. At the back here. Vivian Halloran, Associate Dean for Arts and Humanities and Diversity and Inclusion. Excellent, right there. Rich Hardy, Associate Dean for Undergraduate Studies. Caroline Gerald, Associate Dean for Natural and Mathematical Sciences and Associate Dean of Research. And Rebecca Lave, Associate Dean for Social and Historical Sciences. Okay, so a round of applause for our deans today. Also, please join me in welcoming the Executive Committee of our Gamma of Indiana chapter. I ask them also to stand as I introduce them, and please hold your applause until all are standing. So first of all, our President, Jason McGraw, who you've met already, Associate Professor in the Department of History. Terry Greenslade, our Secretary Treasurer and Assistant Dean for Undergraduate Education. Deborah Cohn, Provost Professor in the Department of Spanish and Portuguese. Greg Demas, Professor in the Department of Biology. Sarah Osterhout, Associate Professor in the Department of Anthropology. And John Salzer, Provost Professor in the Department of Astronomy. And of course, Nikki Skillman, who you just heard from recently. So a round of applause. And I'd like to personally thank them for keeping this proud tradition of Phi Beta Kappa alive in the college. That it's essential for their involvement and their maintaining this chapter. I'd also like to welcome our faculty members and academic advisors, some who are also elected to Phi Beta Kappa themselves at colleges and universities throughout the United States. They're here today because they have served as mentors to the students being inducted into Phi Beta Kappa, and they understand the significance of this achievement. Faculty and academic advisors, please stand so that we may acknowledge you. Thank you. I'm enormously pleased to be here today to congratulate today's inductees on your election to the Gamma of Indiana chapter of Phi Beta Kappa. On behalf of the entire College of Arts and Sciences, let me tell you how proud we are of you. This event is one of the highlights of our academic year, when we gather to celebrate this cohort of outstanding students and to recognize you for the accomplishment of your undergraduate years. You're at the very heart and future of the College of Arts and Sciences at Indiana University. You have been elected to an organization that has existed since 1776. Think how long back that is. The year that the Declaration of Independence was signed. Phi Beta Kappa supports and amplifies the lives of students of high achievement and promise in the liberal arts and sciences. Only 10% of US colleges and universities have Phi Beta Kappa chapters, and only 10% of those people at the universities are invited to join. So you're doing 1% in the US. And as Professor Skillman emphasized, you are an excellent company. In just a moment, we'll hear the Phi Beta Kappa keynote address, followed by the formal induction of our new members. After the induction ceremony, I encourage you to have your picture taken in front of the banner representing your major. You can see the breadth of the college just demonstrated here. And it gives you a sense of the intellectual range and dimension of this afternoon's event. You come from many different disciplines and divisions in the arts, humanities, social, historical, and natural sciences, excelling in courses across the entire IU curriculum. You're well prepared to go on from here to graduate or professional schools or directly enter a workplace where you'll help find solutions to current and future challenges facing the world. As students of the liberal arts and sciences, you've cultivated a strong interdisciplinary core. You have strengths of habit and mind that will enable you to work collaboratively with people from a wide variety of backgrounds. You have skills as critical thinkers, vital communicators, and subject matter experts. You've also developed the practical skills that you'll further refine as you navigate the challenges of a swiftly morphing world and workplace. You'll pursue your goals in a future that involves adapting to multiple opportunities, multiple jobs, multiple careers. You'll be fortified by a mindset focused on growth and continuous learning. That's the motto of Phi Beta Kappa. So we're so proud to know you and to be involved in your education. We wish you every success and look forward with keen expectation to learning about your future achievements. And now I'd like to introduce our speaker, Eduardo Brandizio, whose multifaceted career underscores the values and value of a liberal arts education in Phi Beta Kappa. Eduardo Brandizio is a distinguished professor of anthropology, directs the Center for the Analysis of the Socio-Ecological Landscapes, or CASL, and senior fellow at the Ostrom Workshop at Indiana University Bloomington. For over 35 years, Eduardo's work has documented, examined, and responded to the social environmental transformation and governance and challenges of Amazonia. His research has contributed new methodologies for linking ethnographic and participatory research with regional and global level analysis. This work has contributed to explaining deforestation, agroforestry, intensification, people-forest interaction, migration and urbanization, value chain of biodiversity products, rural and urban vulnerability to climate change, and the governance of complex Amazonian landscapes. Internationally, Eduardo has contributed to and mobilized collaborative networks synthesizing and developing new analyses of the regional and global contributions of indigenous peoples and local communities to an international agreed targets on biodiversity and climate change. These efforts have contributed to a critical mass of studies on topics such as land and forest governance, food production, ecosystem restoration, and biodiversity conservation. One of these efforts, an article published in 2021 in the Annual Review of Environmental Resources, led to a recently opened exhibit at the Indiana University Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology that you can see today, locally based, globally relevant, indigenous and local knowledge, value, and practices for nature. Eduardo was elected member of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, the United States National Academy of Sciences, fellow of the Society for Applied Anthropology, and international member of the French Academy of Agriculture. Brandizio was awarded the 2023 Volvo Environmental Prize and the 2025 Tyler Prize for Environmental Achievement. Apparently the highest level of award in the area of environmental. It's like Nobel Prize for environmental studies. So when you're going around, like who are the famous people you've met? Eduardo is one of them that you'll be hearing from today. And the title of his talk today is Our Responsibilities to Future Generations. Please join me in welcoming Professor Brandizio.
Good afternoon. I'm not going to be talking about Amazonia today. I wish I could, but I think talking about a broader issue, perhaps. Thank you, Rick, for a kind introduction. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Greg and Terry, for the invitation. I'm so honored to be attending for the first time a Phi Beta Kappa induction ceremony. What a privilege this is to speak to such a distinguished group of students and faculty. And congratulations on your achievements. So when Greg and Terry, many months ago, right, invited me to give this short address, I immediately thought about Earth Day, which we're celebrating this week. It's 55th anniversary of that enormous occasion, a time that invites us, I believe, to reflect on the past and to forward thinking. So why the title, Our Responsibility to Future Generations? Look at this. So thinking about the future, imagine, for you can be very abstract, especially when you're trying to navigate your final exams, job applications for many of you, I believe, or just making it through the semester, right? The world can feel overwhelming. Fast fads, in social media demands our attention in the now, and while the news constantly remind us of climate emergencies, global conflicts, and deepening inequalities. So why did I thought about this title? In many years, particularly the past few years, working with students, one concern has become very urgent to me. Many students that I find in the classroom are losing their sense of agency and hope. There's a feeling that the problems are just too big, and that any effort that we do at our individual levels are insufficient. It's tempting to shut down in apathy, as many students are doing. Anxiety of the future is a real feeling among our students. I find that all the time in the classroom. Alvin Toffler described this as future shock, the disorientation caused by rapid change. He said this in 1970. But if, change fast then, and it surely did for me as I was growing up, your generation lives in a warp speed time. In just 25 years, as you're growing up and you're here now, the pace of change has intensified, and so have the pressures. But in talking about our responsibilities to future generations, my intention here is actually to look back to the past. It's to resituate you as a future generation in the present. Why do I do that, or why I'm thinking about that? Because when we look at history, it tells a different story than the story of despair that we find ourselves facing all the time today. It tells of people who faced enormous existential challenges and responded, often imperfectly, but with courage, collaboration, and imagination. When I was in college 40-some years ago, exactly like you, at your age, at your stage, it felt just like the times that we're living now. In some ways. I was studying agricultural science. I was deeply involved in the emerging environmental movement in Brazil. I lived under a military dictatorship. I was active in the fight for redemocratization. The world felt quite chaotic at the time, but looking back, I see a pattern that even in dark times, as they were at that moment in Brazil, people came together to act. I never felt, looking back, so energized as I felt at that moment. I had, with many friends, a sense of hope and agency. Democracy was our goal, and the environmental movement was our way to get to that. This is my main concern with students today. You cannot lose a sense of hope and agency and dreams. My way of provoking these senses is to make sure that my students not only understand where we come from, but look back for inspiration. Let's rewind a little bit to the 1960s in the US, the years preceding what I started with, Earth Day, that we are celebrating this week, and consider the consequence of that time for our lives today. The civil rights movement was, at its core, also an environmental movement. It was a fight for clean air, clean water, safe working conditions, sanitation workers, agricultural workers, and environmental justice in neighborhoods used as toxic dumps. In 1970, the first Earth Day galvanized 20 million people by some estimates. That's about 10% of the US population at that time. And yes, the first manifest on Earth Day happened right here at Dunn Meadow. At 9:30 a.m. on April 22nd, 1970, students, IU students and faculty gathered at our beloved gathering place, Dunn Meadows, to listen to the organizer of Earth Day, Senator Gaylord Nelson. He was the galvanizer of that entire movement, along with, of course, many, many others. They gathered here to demand an inclusive environmental vision, one rooted in justice and equity. The environmental conditions in the US at that time were horrendous. All watersheds east and west of the Mississippi River were heavily polluted. Air pollution choked people in metropolitan areas all around this country. Acid rain was becoming a major concern in people's minds. Lakes, coastal areas, and the oceans were heavily polluted already and overfished. And the list goes on. People not only marched that day on April 22nd, they started to act with their own hands, in their own backyards, and in their own communities. From those movements, we got the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, the Endangered Species Act, the Occupational Health and Safety Act, the EPA, and so many other advances. These weren't small wins. They reshaped the world that now we live in. Today, we must not take for granted that half of the waterways in the US are swimmable and even drinkable. Air quality continues to be a problem, but is unimaginably better. Occupational health standards have improved the lives of millions of workers and all of us. And most important, nature has recovered in much of this country, not only providing the support for our economy, but helping to improve our quality of life. We must not take those things for granted. In 1986, an influential report was published, Our Common Future, a report by the UN Commission, the Brundtland Commission, which I had the pleasure to meet in 1986 in Brazil as a very young environmentalist. Not even sure how that happened, but it was quite a moment for me. But they crafted, the idea of sustainable development, a definition that has become household concept worldwide to meet the needs of the present without compromising the needs of future generations. You are today the future generations that we talked 40 years ago. In 1987, the Montreal Protocol protected the ozone layer. Today, it's seen as one of the most successful international agreements in history. We solved a planetary crisis together. Have you ever thought about the Montreal Protocol? Do you know what the Montreal Protocol is? So the very foundations of life that led to the negotiations of the Montreal Protocol were threatened by the increasing risk of ultraviolet radiation that is one of the causes of the ozone, the hole in the ozone layer. The risk of cancer and blindness was real if we haven't faced that. Today, and for about 10 years or so, we have been documenting the recovery of the ozone layer. Who remembers that when we think about the challenges of climate change today? And that's why I insist so much when I work with my students. Actually, my students in my U101 Sustainability and Society class, we do a role-playing game of negotiating the Montreal Protocol, right? But the idea is that we look back to the past to find the strengths to think about the problems that seem unsurmountable today. In 1990s and the 2000s brought more biodiversity treaties, climate conventions, and all sorts of innovations and responses by people at all levels. People are responding everywhere to these problems. All these efforts were confronting problems of that present, building upon advances of the past, and morally inspired by a sense of commitment to future generations. Again, you are that future generation. We are that future generations that these efforts imagined and fought for. But here's the thing, progress isn't permanent. We can lose what we have gained, historical memory can fade, environmental protection, civil rights, and social justice victories can be reversed or reframed as mistakes. Think about the way some are talking today about the Holocaust, fascism, slavery, women's rights, and even democracy. When we take the past gains for granted, or we don't even know, or we forget about them, two things happen. One is that we let them erode in front of our eyes. And we miss the opportunity to find the strengths in the achievements of the past. Again, that's why in every class that I teach, I start with history, and thinking about what can we learn from it? How can we gain strength from it? That's why we must recognize ourselves not only as beneficiaries of past struggles, but as custodians of their legacies. We are the future generations of the past. As Phi Beta Kappa inductees, you're part of a very long lineage of thinkers, dreamers, and change makers. A 250 years legacy, which is inseparable from the history of this country. You were chosen this path not just for your excellence, but for your commitment to the ideas and values, to free inquiry and curiosity, and to an understanding that intellectual freedom equals social responsibility. So, where does that leave us? We face complex, interlocking problems: climate change, inequality, misinformation, polarization, and the list goes on. But as Elinor Ostrom, a former IU professor, dear friend and colleague, and the first woman to win the Nobel Prize in economics, would say, I think, we can confront complexity without despair. So that's our charge and your charge, to meet the challenges with humility, creativity, and collaboration, to draw strengths from history without being bound by it, to build coalitions across disciplines, generations, and borders, as you are doing in your own educational path, and to recognize that even amid this rapid change, some truths endure, that our actions as individuals matter, they have consequence, and you should feel empowered by it. That our imagination shapes the possible, and that our responsibility to future generations starts now. So let me end with this. You're not just the future, you are the present architects of tomorrow. Your education, your ideas, your empathy, they are needed now more than ever. Continue to step forward with courage, not because the path is easy, but because the moment demands it. Remember, you have agency. The future isn't something that we inherit, it's something that we build together. Thank you.
Thank you, Eduardo, for that rich and memorable keynote address. It's now my honor to recognize the winner of the Margaret Russell Edmondson Award, given each semester to a member of Phi Beta Kappa on the IUB campus who demonstrates the highest academic excellence. This award was established by the late Professor Emeritus Frank Edmondson in memory of his wife. Frank Edmondson was a distinguished scientist who, throughout his academic career, was a dedicated member of the Gamma chapter of Phi Beta Kappa here at Bloomington. And he was inducted at the conclusion of his junior year at IU in 1932. 4 years after earning his bachelor's degree in astronomy from IU in 1933, he was awarded a PhD from Harvard University. He immediately returned to the astronomy department here at IU, where he became department chair in 1944 and remained in that role for 34 years. In 1972, he served as the president of the Gamma chapter. At many of these induction banquets, he was accompanied by his wife, Margaret Russell Edmondson, herself a proud member of Phi Beta Kappa. Frank paid tribute to Margaret in many ways following her death in 1999. Even naming an asteroid after her. But she might be most proud to know that this award for academic excellence has been established in her name. And today, the recipient of this year's Margaret Russell Edmondson Award is Olivia Jean Smith. Olivia, would you please come forward so that we can present you with the certificate for this special award? Olivia is majoring. Yeah. Olivia is majoring in biology and minoring in chemistry. She will be applying to medical schools this summer, fall, and plans to attend medical school in the fall of 2026. Congratulations. Okay, I see a lot of uneaten cupcakes on the tables. They're not going home with me. And now Terry Greenslade, Secretary-Treasurer of Gamma of Indiana, will conduct the initiation of our new Phi Beta Kappa members.
Good afternoon. It is my great pleasure to be here with you all, and it is now my honor to lead our newly elected members through the induction. Will the inductees please rise? I'm actually pleased to see so many of our students here today. I think this is the most students we've ever had at one of our induction ceremonies. And I hope you find it's a memorable occasion when you'll go back to after many years, as Professor Brandizia was saying. In accordance with the rules of the chapter and in consequence of the evaluation by the constitutional electors of Phi Beta Kappa of the academic performance throughout the period of your baccalaureate degree candidacy, the electors have acted to elect you members in course. You have been formally notified of your election, and by your presence here, you signify your desire to be enrolled as members of this ancient and honorable society. I'm instructed to ask that you formally confirm acceptance of your election, and that when you become an elector of Phi Beta Kappa, you will have paramount regard for moral character and scholarly attainment. If you agree to this charge, you shall now respond, I do. Great. By reason of your election and your acceptance, the Society's requirements for induction are fully satisfied. Therefore, I declare you members of Gamma of Indiana of Phi Beta Kappa, authorized to wear its key and participate in its meetings. You may all be seated. And now we will present the new members. So I would ask that Dean Van Kooten, Professor McGraw, Professor Cohn, and Professor Salzer join me on the stage. Mr. President, members of the Executive Committee, faculty members of Phi Beta Kappa, and guests, I have the honor of presenting these persons who've been inducted. Students, our chapter president, Professor McGraw, will present you with your certificate of membership, while Dean Van Kooten, Professor Cohn, and Professor Salzer will welcome you into the society. We will display your names on these screens here. When you see your name, please walk over to Michael, who will help you line up. So let's begin. We'll see if you really are members of Phi Beta Kappa. We should see the instructions. Okay, so students, come forward when you see your name. We'll follow the order of the banquet program. While the first few students start to line up, let me explain the process on stage. When it's your turn, please come forward to accept your certificate from Professor McGraw and receive congratulations from Dean Van Kooten, Professor Cohn, and Professor Salzer. Then you'll sign the registration book here and exit the stage to my right. I would ask the members of the audience to hold their applause until all the electees have received their certificates. And let me add that we will only read the names of those members in attendance today. Okay. John Albin, John is a double major in linguistics and French. Yes. Congratulations, John. Vanya Anwar. Vanya is studying neuroscience. Congratulations, Vanya. Grace Ball. Grace is a double major in psychology and sociology. Congratulations, Grace. Sejal Bugna. Sejal is studying economics and quantitative methods, Bachelor of Science. Congratulations, Sejal. Nick Bozelli Levine. Clara Brecky. Clara is studying neuroscience BS as well. Congratulations, Clara. Rivka Bunnis. Rivka is studying a political science BA, double majoring in Jewish studies. That's Rivka's certificate.
Oops, he's gone.
Okay, that's all
Grab it
right.
off him.
Congratulations, Rivka.
Great job.
Bryce Kane. Bryce is earning degrees in theater and drama as well as media BA.
Congratulations. Great job.
Congratulations, Bryce. Emily Case. Emily is earning a Bachelor of Arts in Chemistry. Congratulations, Emily. Leah Castro Sauer. Is Leah here? Okay. Ella Chamberlain. Ella is earning a Bachelor of Science in Human Biology. Congratulations, Ella. Cassandra Kaur. Cassandra is pursuing majors in East Asian languages and cultures, as well as in linguistics. Samantha Connors. Samantha is earning a Bachelor of Arts in Biotechnology. Congratulations, Samantha. Samantha Cushing. Samantha is a double major in English and political science.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Samantha.
Great. Well done.
Lindsay Dan. Lindsay is earning a Bachelor of Arts in Journalism. Lucas Daniels. Lucas is earning a Bachelor of Science in Biology.
Congratulations. Great job.
Congratulations, Lucas. Trey Davis. Trey is also earning a Bachelor of Science in Biology.
Congratulations. Great job.
Congratulations, Trey. Allison Dorff. Allison is earning a BA in media.
Congratulations. Great job.
Lily Dorsch. Lily is earning a BA in biochemistry. Congratulations, Lily. Whitney Dreer. Whitney is earning a Bachelor of Science in Clinical Psychological Science. Congratulations, Whitney. Elena Eels. Elena is a double major in anthropology and Spanish.
Congratulations, great job.
Congratulations, Elena. Cameron Eisen. Camera is earning a BA in psychology. Niatil Fehrenbacher. Niall is earning a double major in criminal justice and psychology, as well as a degree in international studies. Congratulations, Niatil. Lola Fisher. Declan Gallagher. Declan is pursuing majors in international studies and Spanish.
Congratulations, great job.
Congratulations, Declan. Aaron Funkhauser. Aaron is earning a Bachelor of Arts in Media. Congratulations, Aaron. Jean Girardot. Jean is pursuing a triple major in history, English, and criminal justice. Congratulations, Jean. Hannah Gersler. Hannah's a double major in microbiology and Spanish. Congratulations, Hannah. Lindsay Good. Lindsay is pursuing a Bachelor of Science in biology. Colin Graham. Colin is earning dual degrees in biology and biochemistry.
Great job, congratulations.
Congratulations, Colin.
Thank you.
Mary Groover. Mary is pursuing a merchandising BS degree.
Congratulations, great job. Well done, Mary.
Congratulations, Mary. Gavin Hale. Gavin is pursuing dual degrees in neuroscience and biology. Congratulations, Gavin. Joel Hammond. Joel is a double major in history and political science.
Congratulations, great job.
Congratulations, Joel. Luke Hawkins. Luke is earning a Bachelor of Science in biochemistry.
Congratulations, great job.
Congratulations, Luke. Tanner Heisel. Emma Herway. Emma is earning a Bachelor of Arts in journalism.
Congratulations, great job.
Congratulations, Emma. Riley Huron. Riley is earning a Bachelor of Science in human biology.
Congratulations, great job.
Congratulations, Riley. Isabel Hutchinson. Isabel is pursuing a Bachelor of Arts in political science. Congratulations, Isabel. Alexander Hines. Alexander is earning a BA in media.
Congratulations, great job.
Congratulations, Alexander. Sarah Joyce. Sarah is pursuing a Bachelor of Arts in East Asian Languages and Cultures. Heather Kalin. Heather is pursuing a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology.
Congratulations, great job.
Manpreet Kira. Manpreet is pursuing dual degrees in chemistry, a Bachelor of Science, as well as a political science Bachelor of Arts.
Congratulations, great job.
Congratulations, Manpreet. Layla Fern King. Layla is a double major in psychology and French.
Congratulations, great job. Well done.
Congratulations, Layla Fern. Hugo Leek. Hugo is earning a Bachelor of Arts in Gender Studies.
Congratulations, great job.
Joanna Lee. Joanna is pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry.
Congratulations, great job.
Owen Leonard. Owen is earning dual degrees in astronomy and astrophysics, Bachelor of Science, along with a physics Bachelor of Science. Congratulations, Owen. Lydia Lukic. Lydia is pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Biochemistry.
Congratulations, great job. Good to see you. Well done.
Congratulations, Lydia. Molly Lusk. Molly is earning a Bachelor of Science in Biology. Congratulations, Molly. Joy Luther. Joy is earning a Bachelor of Arts in Theater and Drama.
Great job.
Congratulations, Joy. Josh Matheny. Josh is earning a Bachelor of Arts in Economics.
Congratulations, great job. Well done.
Congratulations, Josh. Alyssa McDermott. Alyssa is pursuing majors in international studies as well as East Asian languages and cultures. Congratulations, Alyssa. Allison Merker. Allison is earning dual degrees in molecular life sciences and anthropology. Congratulations, Allison. Hannah Miller. Hannah is earning a Bachelor of Science degree in merchandising.
Congratulations, great job.
Congratulations, Hannah. Mitchell Morikal. Mitchell is earning a Bachelor of Science in chemistry.
Congratulations, great job. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mitchell. Madison Moss. Madison is earning a Bachelor of Science in biotechnology.
Congratulations, great job.
Congratulations, Madison. Sophia Wen. Sophia is earning a Bachelor of Arts in English.
Congratulations, great job.
Congratulations, Sophia. Rose Nicholson. Rose is pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Molecular Life Sciences.
Great job, congratulations.
Congratulations, Rose. Catherine Odell. Catherine is pursuing majors in East Asian Studies and Folklore and Ethnomusicology. Congratulations, Catherine. Nicholas Oak. Nicholas is earning a Bachelor of Arts in Human Biology.
Congratulations. Great job.
Congratulations, Nicholas. Luciana Orrego Hoyos. Luciana is earning an interdepartmental degree in political science and philosophy. Congratulations, Luciana. Grace Pendleton. Grace is pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Interior Design.
Congratulations. Great job.
Congratulations, Grace. Daniel Precht. Daniel is pursuing a Bachelor of Arts in International Studies.
Congratulations. Great job.
Congratulations, Daniel. Chris Rafalco. Chris is earning a Bachelor of Science in Human Biology.
Congratulations. Good job.
Congratulations, Chris. Trinity Rhinesmith. Trinity is a double major in psychology and criminal justice.
Congratulations. Good job.
Congratulations, Trinity. Cara Roberge. Cara is pursuing a double major in sociology and English.
Congratulations. Good job.
Congratulations, Cara. Rylan Robinson. Rylan is earning a Bachelor of Arts in East Asian Studies. Congratulations, Rylan. Casimir Rosalowski. Hayden Sawyer. Hayden is a double major in criminal justice and psychology.
Congratulations. Great job.
Congratulations, Hayden. Reagan Walhoff. Zoe Wilson. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of order. That would not be the first time, but here I am. I'll catch up with myself. Emily Shannon. Thank you. Now everybody's less confused. Got it. Emily Shannon. Emily is pursuing a Bachelor of Arts in Journalism and an Animal Behavior Bachelor of Science. My apologies. Congratulations, Emily. Morgan Short. Morgan is majoring in International Law and Institutions and East Asian Languages and Cultures. Congratulations, Morgan. Ashley Simpson. Ashley is pursuing degrees in Media BA and East Asian Languages and Cultures. Congratulations, Ashley. Olivia Smith, pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Biology.
Congratulations for the award. Thank you. Great job.
Congratulations, Olivia. Victor Song. Victor is pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Molecular Life Sciences.
Congratulations. Great job.
Congratulations, Victor. Faith Stimson. Faith is pursuing a double major in biochemistry and Spanish.
Congratulations. Good job.
Congratulations, Faith. Aiden Sucharetsa. Aiden is pursuing a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. Emma Taylor. Emma is pursuing dual degrees in merchandising and fashion design. Congratulations, Emma. Shamaria Thomas. Shamaria is earning a Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice. Liz Utley. Liz is studying International Studies and Spanish, both BAs.
Great job.
Congratulations, Liz. Isabella Vasperini. Isabella is pursuing the Bachelor of Arts in Journalism. Now I think I caught up. Reagan Walhoff. Reagan is earning dual degrees in biology, a Bachelor of Science, and a BA in Spanish. Congratulations, Reagan. Zoe Wilson. Zoe is earning a Bachelor of Science in Molecular Life Sciences. Congratulations, Zoe. Caitlin Wong. John Reitzman. John is studying biochemistry to earn the Bachelor of Arts degree. Congratulations, John. And Nayan Yarabolu. Okay. Cam Wareham. Okay. Coming. Cam is pursuing a degree in English. Congratulations, Cam. If there are any new members whose names I have omitted, please step forward now so we can present you with your certificate. Okay. You have now met our new members of Phi Beta Kappa Gamma of Indiana. Please join me in expressing our pleasure in their accomplishments. And if all our students could stand so we can acknowledge you. You may be seated.
This is a bit off the cuff, but you all look great. I understand, like in the middle of the day, who wants to get dressed up? But you all really look really nice. Just want to say that. I should have buttered you up at the beginning, but. As we come to the close of this event, I want to remind you that the keys to your future will be your resilience, curiosity, courage, and determination. The world very much needs people like you, people who have been broadly trained with deep expertise and interest in the liberal arts and sciences. You excel in the analytical skills we celebrate in Phi Beta Kappa and the foundational skills that are the hallmark of the college. With your Phi Beta Kappa membership, you will have support for your life adventure. Election to Phi Beta Kappa connects you with a wonderfully diverse community, nationally and around the world. A community of people who lead meaningful, significant lives. Save your program from today to better connect with others here today and in the future. These are the members of your PBK class. One last suggestion, besides eating your cupcakes. Among the guests at this afternoon's ceremony is Josh Levesque, a member of the board of the Alpha Association of Indiana, who is also a master's student at the O'Neill School of Public and Environmental Affairs. Mr. Levesque will be available after the banquet near the entrance of the solarium to answer questions you may have about joining a Phi Beta Kappa association. For those of you whose future plans include remaining in northern or central Indiana, it is a good opportunity to connect with others with similar plans and to network. Josh, would you please stand so the students know who you are right there? Well, please finish up. Have a wonderful afternoon. Don't forget to take photos, selfies, or whatever with your banners, and it's time to bask in your well-earned success. Thank you very much.